In this review of the week's news, a massive change ahead for Rangiora High School. We remember the earthquake 4 years on and meet the new baby rhino at Orana Park. This is CTV News Week in Review. I'm Jared McCulloch. Rangiora High School and its former Board of Trustees are keeping quiet about the board sacking this week. It's thought the decision comes from a lack of disclosure about sale money of school land sold to a developer 8 years ago. Emma Cropper reports.
It was this letter that was sent to parents and caregivers yesterday, advising them of the changes at Rangiora High School. Effective from today, the Board of Trustees has been stood down and Commissioner Bev Moore is acting as its replacement. David Turnbull, chairperson of the sacked Board of Trustees, says they've been working with the Ministry of Education to address matters of employment, communication and finance. Turnbull says in a statement, the issues do not relate to the welfare of the students. They relate to policy and governance issues. They do not involve any financial impropriety. However, he says there are issues relating to the management of a large investment from the sale of farmland back in 2007. The 46-hectare land was rezoned to be residential by the Waimakariri District Council, making it attractive to property developers. The school then sold the farm under the agreement. The funds raised from its sale were for the school to buy more land for agricultural purposes. It's understood these are matters relating to the previous Board of Trustees, and with such a large number of new trustees appointed at last year's elections, the Ministry felt additional support was appropriate. Commissioner Moore will have full responsibility for school governance and will work with the school's management team, staff and community to support the school to return to self-governance as soon as possible. Commissioner Moore says in a statement, "My appointment as Commissioner reflects the need to strengthen aspects of the school's governance function. I will be focused on gaining a full understanding of all aspects of the school, including its strengths and weaknesses, and developing an action plan to resolve any concerns or issues." Principal Peggy Burrows will remain responsible for the day-to-day management of the school. The Ministry will continue to support the school and monitor its progress, and the Commissioner's role will be reviewed annually.
The profits of a new retail store opening on Wiltham Road will be contributing directly to getting more Canterburyans in homes, and charity Habitat for Humanity has even bigger plans. Marcus Gibbs has the story.
11 new $350,000 homes, soon to be gifted to families in need. Bayswater Crescent is the latest space for Habitat for Humanity as the charity works magic in Christchurch's quake-damaged communities.
There's great need out there at the moment. A lot of our families are coming from quite substandard housing and are very, very happy to be moving into brand new homes.
And it's the charity's new store that's going to make sure Habitat for Humanity can build an additional 9 homes to help even more families. The Restore has been dubbed the superstore of pre-love. It's essentially a second-hand shop, but almost anything can be found here. It's a bargain hunter's dream.
The store has been a huge labour of love, and we expect it to do a lot to assist Habitat in building houses in Christchurch.
The 21 home projects will cost Habitat for Humanity $7.5 million. That money will come from grants and the proceeds from selling items at the store. Peter's hoping to make several $100,000 over the next few years.
We know from the performance that we're seeing in places like Auckland and Hamilton and Invercargill that we'll get that sort of turnover, and that we will deliver a surplus that will assist us in building homes. Store
manager Linda is expecting huge crowds when Restore officially opens its stores tomorrow. She's already come across 2 sought-after items.
We've got vintage Chanel handbags, we've got American clocks that people bring in. It's probably been in a dark cupboard for about 20 years, and then suddenly it comes out and people donate things like that.
Volunteers man the store during the week. Families benefiting from new homes help out, and any time spent here can be taken off the 500 hours they need to donate to help build their new home.
Those families work together with each other on site, building each other's houses together, and so while they work together and rub shoulders together, a solid community is formed.
Emma will be volunteering 4 days a week. Her current rental is overcrowded and a young family wants a place to call their own. One of the 11 homes being built at the moment will soon be hers, and she's extremely grateful.
We feel so blessed as a family to get this opportunity. I just think of the days before we had this, it was a constant battle.
She's gaining crucial retail experience in the process.
We've done a bit of everything. There's been painting and shelving just to help it to begin, to set up, but now it's sorting through the boxes and the clothing and then selling and meeting customers.
This is the 11th store in New Zealand, but the first for Christchurch. Overseas, 800 stores operate, bringing in millions of dollars every year to help build homes like these. And after hard work and labour, a family in need, like Emma's, can move in.
Very happy moment for everybody, really, for them to be moving into a lovely new home, and for us to having done something to really help people and give people hope for the future.
The aim is to have the first 6 families moving in by the middle of the year, all helped by the proceeds of the sales in the store. From tomorrow, the store will be open 9 to 3 on a Saturday and 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. If it takes off, there's even talk of opening a second store elsewhere in the city. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
It's been a long time coming for commuters using the Ashley River Bridge, but this week the new bridge is officially opening and traffic flows are expected to improve. Emma Cropper reports.
Old cars testing new roads, now open to motorists from this week. Hundreds gathered to celebrate the official opening of the Ashley Bridge. High water often forced the old bridge to be closed by the Waimakariri District Council, who would put in place detours for frustrated motorists. Even one of the 20 piers supporting the bridge was washed away during a storm in June. Costing $10.6 million to construct, it caters to almost 10,000 motorists who cross the bridge each day. Vintage cars and steam traction engines tested the new bridge, a nod to the first opening in 1912, where similar ones took part. Even the same pair of scissors used in 1912 was on hand to help out. While it's in with the new, it's not quite out with the old until the original bridge is demolished in April. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Coming up on CTV News Week in Review, the earthquake anniversary remembered and the netball season begins. Welcome back. Sunday marked the 4th anniversary of the February 22nd earthquake. It will continue to be a day of reflection for many in years to come. Here's more on this year's ceremony. A sign of remembrance. A colourful array of flowers travel down the Avon River, a simple yet effective gesture from the people affected by the earthquake. A sombre sight for those who attended the earthquake commemorations at the Christchurch Botanic Gardens yesterday, with hundreds of people gathering for the 4th anniversary of the devastating February 22nd earthquake in 2011. The 1 hour remembrance drew large crowds to remember the 185 killed when the magnitude 6.3 tremor struck 4 years ago. For many throughout Canterbury, the scars are still raw, and the Mayor of Christchurch says the community needs to stick together.
As a city, we need to continue to be looking out for each other. Some people will be at the end of their tether, that they can't see a resolution in sight. Many will be at the other end of the spectrum, a new home and a sense of hope for the future. Let us take comfort from each other while at the same time lifting our spirits with the sense of possibility that our city holds.
It's so hard to believe that 4 years today our world was turned upside down. And as we gather today, we remember the past, we reflect on the 4 years since that earthquake, and we look to the future. What has struck me in the last 4 years is how everything has changed. Everything has changed except for the love and the support and the strength of Cantabrians.
And that support was seen with the applause for the emergency services of St John, the New Zealand Police, Fire Service and the Red Cross, complimenting the work they did on the day of the quake. And it's not only Canterbury affected, but the international community as well. The Cricket World Cup teams passed on their tribute to the people of Christchurch who are playing at the Hagley Oval today. Then a minute of silence at 12:51 p.m, the time the devastating quake struck. The CTV site saw the largest loss of life, with 115 people killed when the building collapsed. This year, a small group of 20 people came together to remember the tragedy. Friends and family of the victims placed flowers around the memorial, and the station's only employee to escape the building alive says the feelings 4 years on are still raw.
I feel numb, but I love being it was really nice being at the service today. It's emotional, but I think Christchurch City did well with the service, and it was beautiful with the flowers going down the river, the piper playing, and I thought that was very special.
This is just one of many areas where people have come together today. At the CTV site, 115 people lost their lives. But it's all about putting those stresses of EQC and insurance claims aside and focusing together, with Christchurch and Canterbury continuing to rebuild themselves.
I think it's really good to come together, because that's what's helped us through all this, coming together and supporting each other.
An official earthquake memorial is going through public consultation, with 6 designs being put forth to consider, and the memorial is due to be completed by next year's anniversary. And Marianne believes a permanent place will help with the grieving.
I think it's great to have a memorial to go to, especially for the families, and on their birthdays, at Christmas, and the anniversary of the earthquake. It's good, and it's also good for all of Canterbury, because it's affected everyone, and also the injured as well. I think they need more recognition as well, the seriously injured. But especially for the families, they lost their treasured, loved one, and it's tough for them every day of the week, not just today. It's tough for them every day.
So the rebuild continues, physically and emotionally, for the people of Canterbury. Jared McCulloch, CTV News. Well, many Canterbury workers will have a slightly higher pay packet from the start of April, following the government increasing the minimum wage by 50 cents per hour. Here's Marcus Gibbs.
17-year-old Brianna is looking forward to April. That's when her pay packet increases, albeit slightly. Her wage will jump from $570 a week before tax to $590. That's a weekly bonus of $16.16 after tax, and KiwiSaver is taken out.
I think it's awesome, but that's just because I get more money for the hours that I'm working.
The starting out and training hourly minimum wages will also increase by 40 cents to $11.80 an hour. Brianna is a fast food worker, and Unite Union says her and all other minimum wage workers should be paid more.
Considering that people at the moment are on $14.25, $14.75 is still well below the living wage. So, why do we have this difference between the minimum wage and the living wage?
The government announcement comes as the living wage estimate is upgraded from $18 to $19.25.
It's judged as the way to sort of what someone could, have a decent standing of living on. So you would like to see people learning that.
At the time of last year's general elections, Labor was promising to increase the minimum wage to $16.25 an hour, but today the national government wasn't as kind. Workplace Relations and Safety Minister Michael Woodhouse says 115,000 workers will benefit from the increased wages, but the increase won't constrain employment growth.
Just because the minimum wage hasn't risen by as much as we'd like today doesn't mean that it can't do it next time. Really what it comes down to is how much pressure we can exert on the government to.
There are 8,000 Unite Union members around the country. 500 of them are based in Christchurch. Unite is pressing fast food chains to abolish 0-hour contracts. This is when the business chooses how many hours an employee will work each week.
Wendy's has come back with a couple of minor changes which are good for workers, but they still haven't come back on getting guaranteed hours into the contracts and removing 0-hour contracts, so we're still campaigning to improve that there.
Last week a small protest was held outside Wendy's Hornby. Unite says since then progress has been made, such as 15-minute breaks instead of 10, along with free tea and coffee. Wendy's chief executive also responded to CTV in a statement by saying that every employee is rostered a minimum of 10 hours a week.
Always good to get a bonus for people on the minimum wage, but if people are still on 0-hour contracts and don't have consistent hours from week to week, then it makes it hard to make those benefits worthwhile.
In the meantime, Brianna will appreciate her small increase. She's living at home and has no cost, so thinks her weekly wage is pretty good.
15 would be nice, a solid number would be nice. The age that I am is I don't really have any living expenses to pay for, so.
Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
The netball season is back in action and the Canterbury Tactics hit their first week of training in Christchurch. Gordon Finlater has the details.
The mainland Tactics get their 2015 ANZ Netball Championship underway on Monday night when they host the Northern Mystics at Horncastle Arena. The side were being put through their paces today at training under new coach Sue Hawkins. The Australian native comes with an impressive coaching CV, having coached franchises both sides of the Tasman, while having also pulled the strings at international level with England between 2007 and 2011. The Tactics have been the competition easy beats in recent years. While things can't be changed overnight, the new coach is looking to create a winning culture amongst the team.
Look, I think we're going to be making an impact, but you've got to be realistic. You know, to go from 0 to 100 in 1 year is a big call. However, if they underestimate us, then good luck to them, because if they put out their second line, we're going to go and chomp on their tails. So we're going to go hunting, and we mean business. So new look team, new energy. What's happened before, we can't change that, but we can change our outcome now.
The side has had mixed results through their pre-season as new combinations are tried out and players meet match fitness. Hawkins is excited about what she's seen over the months leading into the season proper and has a good idea on which players are suited to different match situations.
We've got ideas, but our starting lineup may not be our top 7. You can come home like a steam train as well, and keep the opposition thinking. So it depends on the tactics that we'll work on Monday night. So we'll keep them thinking. We'll keep them on the toes. And some players are good to start, and some players are good to come on. And I think that's the magic of knowing your players and knowing what works and what doesn't work.
With a new coach means new systems and new ideas. Captain Anna Thompson is the Tactics' longest-standing team member and thinks that Hawkins has had a positive impact on the girls.
And she's been really clear right from the get-go in terms of what she expects from us and what we're capable of, basically. So she's come in and had a really good influence on the girls, and we're learning stuff all the time, so that's always a really good thing.
A new conference structure to this year's competition will see the top 3 teams from both Australia and New Zealand qualify for the finals. And with the team's first 5 games against Kiwi teams, the Tactics know the extra importance these conference matches come with.
Every game is so crucial in terms of the points when it comes out at the end. If you lose a game by 1 point, then that can affect your place in the ladder. So every game's got high importance on it, and we'll be definitely going into every game with that win goal in sight.
Monday night's match gets underway at Horncastle Arena from 7:30, with the new look Tactics will look to start their campaign with a win. Gordon Finlater, CTV Sport.
Still to come, the council chooses to sell more assets to pay its debt. Welcome back. A Christchurch teenager's dream for independence is one step closer to reality, thanks to the support of hundreds of generous Cantabrians. Marcus Gibbs has the details.
Lillian Exton is one step closer to a world of independence. Her family needs a special vehicle so Lily can take her motorised wheelchair anywhere she goes. More than $13,000 has been raised by friends and family, and even complete strangers, so that Lily can get the independence she craves.
I'm pretty amazed at how many people care about our family and how much people have donated.
Lillian has a rare, painful bone condition, one that makes her grow extremely fast. The 13-year-old is already taller than the average New Zealand adult. Measuring up at 1.84 metres, she towers above her peers, and she still has a lot of growing left to do.
In her maximum growth, it was a centimetre a month that she'd be growing, whereas most children grow sort of 6 centimetres a year maximum. So her growth was kind of double.
Off the charts.
It's quite accelerated. Well, she's way off the chart. She's about 97 percentile for her age.
A new vehicle to transport her electric wheelchair would change her life.
I get to hang out with my friends without them pushing me and because my friends can't see over my wheelchair, so it's quite hard.
It means that we'll be able to do more as a family, go to more places, and for Lillian to be able to move herself around, which no teenager really wants mum and dad to be, right by their side the whole time.
Lillian's condition means her joints are misshapen and she's becoming more and more stooped as she grows. She's partially deaf too, but she isn't letting anything stop her from living life to its fullest.
It affects all of Lillian's joints. They're enlarged and so they don't have free movement. She can't walk for long distances, she gets very sore, and she has fused vertebrae in her neck, so that is why her neck angles forward and so she can't look up to see and has to have a specialised wheelchair that tilts so that she can see straight ahead.
236 people have so far donated towards her cause. Lillian enjoys reading their comments, encouragement and support. Her friend and neighbour Jenny Payne started the Give a Little page. All of this has been possible because of her.
Lily is one of the most inspiring people I've ever met. She's just an incredible little lady, and her family, Wendy and Kev and Melissa, they're amazing. They're amazing neighbours and amazing people, and they deserve this. It's going to be so life-changing for Lily.
One of the best things to come from the publicity of the page is that people now stop to talk to her. More people are learning to understand her rare condition.
The funds to get the van, it's amazing. That's what the goal is. But the journey along the way, just to getting there, has been very uplifting for all of us, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And we just realise how lucky we are to have such a good community that we live in.
Like all teenagers, the Year 10 student at Avonside Girls High School has dreams and aspirations. She wants to work with technology when she finishes high school.
I want to be like a little, maybe like a techie person or something to do with computers.
And once she has this new van, she'll be able to do that. No sweat. Lillian really is a remarkable, inspiring and positive teenager. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Another baby face has made its first appearance at Orana Wildlife Park. This time, it's a baby rhino. Emma Cropper has the details.
He's just finding his feet, but that's okay, because at a whopping 50 kgs, this baby rhino hasn't even been in the world for 1 week.
I've been waiting quite a while for him to come, so it was very exciting when we heard the news.
Yet to be named, the southern white rhino is the newest member of the family at Orana Wildlife Park, and it's not every day these rare animals are born. This is one of the third ever at the zoo.
It can be quite tricky. They do take quite a bit of time and effort and that sort of thing to have a calf, and it is quite a long gestation period. They've got about a 16-month wait, so it can take, that part in itself is quite a while, and it goes pretty smoothly usually.
Despite being sleepy while we filmed the newborn, we've been told it's not quite his personality.
He's very energetic, he's quite boisterous, he likes to play, and I think he's going to cause a bit of trouble as he gets older with the herd.
At one point there were only around 30 of its breed left in the wild, with a life expectancy of up to 50 years. Zookeepers are unsure yet if this wee one will be heading elsewhere in Australasia to be part of a breeding program. For now, he's just getting used to the world, and soon he'll be finding his feet amongst the rest of the herd in the next few weeks.
We will start looking at introducing him to the rest of the group over the next kind of week or so, and then he'll live in with his mum in the herd.
He's much smaller in size than his 12-year-old mother Tamu, but he's growing at a rate of 2 kgs a day, and so far his mother is a model of perfection at looking after her offspring.
She's really good. This is her second calf, so she's already done it once before, and this little guy is really, really healthy. He's doing super well so far, and she's looking after him perfectly, so couldn't ask for better, really.
All going well, and the baby calf behind me will be out of the yards and on display at Orana Park on Sunday. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
The Christchurch City Council this week decided that it needs to squeeze more cash from asset sales to help pay its debt. It's looking at what else it can sell to find $750 million.
If given the green light by the public, $750 million worth of council assets will be up for sale. The grim financial position of the Christchurch City Council has forced them to boost the amount of capital they release from its commercial arm Christchurch City Holdings. 6 People's Choice councillors were hoping to cap that at $550 million, but were outvoted at today's council meeting. Up for sale was part of Christchurch Airport, Littleton Port and Orion. The sale would help fill the council's $1.2 billion funding shortfall. The council was now seeking expert advice on how best to release the capital and is reviewing all aspects of the organisation's capital program. Councillor Ralph Manji, the council's finance spokesperson, says the council has been advised by auditors that it needed to approve the release of the $750 million in capital as part of its financial strategy, or else it would be out of business.
And that is CTV News Week in Review. I'm Jared McCulloch. Have a great weekend.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.